Welcome to the Human Nature Channel. I'm your host, Alex Mtamsula, also known as Daddy Baby on Twitter. And what am I doing here? Well, it's Tuesday night once again here in my dad's Collect My Thoughts farm garage. I'm running out of things to call this place. But I've mentioned in past videos that it is roomy. You know, it's kind of like an artist's loft if the artist is me. Andy had his factory, I got my motherfucking farm garage. I can walk around talking to myself, play music. In past videos, I referred to this period of the day, instrumental in creating videos, by the way, as ass-scratching time. And I'm really in ass-scratching time until I have an idea. And then the music goes off and I get down to business. And I have not just one but two ideas to run past you. The first idea is this. Since mid-February, as I've restarted this channel, I've done, I think now it's like 22 videos. And in those 22 videos, I mention S.I. Hayakawa and language and thought and action a lot. Not every video, but a large number of them. And so I had this idea. Now, I don't remember if I had it up here or not, but all those videos are in one file. How about if I open up my video editor and import that file and all those videos and then go through them one at a time, and wherever I'm not talking about S.I. Hayakawa, it's gone. And I keep doing this. I left in me singing back in the USSR because I couldn't resist. However, I managed to go through all of those videos, and when I got to the end, I noticed that I had 80 minutes worth of video. I'm like, well, that's interesting. The last video I did, I could tack it on the end, and I could come up with an introduction long enough to make it 90 minutes long, which would make it feature length. And then I says, wow, and then I could call it S.I. Hayakawa, the movie. And considering I'm this close to having it done, I probably will do that in the very near future. And who knows, maybe there's some people who want to sit down and hear what I have to say about old S.I. in a documentary format. We'll see. Second idea has to do with what I say down in the notes, which is, as soon as I got 10 minutes worth of material, I'm going to do a video. Well, the last video was just a hair under 8 minutes, so yeah, I'm not hitting the 10-minute mark. However, one of the reasons that's happening is I'm getting more efficient making videos. And the number of long takes that I do from beginning to end isn't as many. I mean, I got last video done with just 2 long takes and went, yeah, that's fine. One thing that's happening is, like, I may have this idea in the back of my head, but when I start telling the story, I get caught up in the pace and I'll just blow past the digression. I'll just like forget all about it, even though in some cases there's more to be said, and that was the case in the last video. Okay. Joe said it's a paradox. There was more to that conversation afterwards. And just for a quick review, Joe believed that competition was bad. Competition is taught. And that we shouldn't teach competition. we shouldn't teach competition. You know, I could have did some transformational grammar upside Joe's head with that statement there. What do you mean by teach, Joe? And Joe would be like, oh, what do you mean by what do you mean? I don't know what you mean. And I'm like, well, Joe, I mean, you said teach. Do you mean in school? Are you saying competition is taught in school? And Joe would be like, I don't know. I'm like, all right, Joe. I'll even concede that you're in the ballpark, even though I don't ever remember being in high school or college and being offered courses on competition. But if you're thinking like middle school, high school, the playground, you will, yes, learn competition. But nobody's going to be teaching it to you. You're just going to be seeing it in action and learning about your world as you spend more time among kids. I mean, the first time you see the big kid shove the small kid, you go, wow, that really does work, doesn't it? Or if you see two evenly matched guys fighting over a girl, there's not going to be a quiz afterwards. It's not for your benefit. You know, it's an emergent property. Competition is an emergent property. I shrugged, but that's kind of why I said, Joe, if competition is taught, then who taught the first person competition? And that's when Joe went, it's a paradox. I said, paradox? I'll give you a paradox, okay? It's called the Spanish barber paradox. It comes out of logic studies. It's rather famous, and it goes something like this. There is a small town in Spain with only one barber. The barber shaves every man who does not shave himself. Does the barber shave himself? And Joe's like, that's not a paradox. And I'm like, well, yes it is. And he's like, no it isn't. I'm like, yes it is. And he's like, no it isn't. I'm like, no point arguing. And I'll tell you what, let's be fair to Joe. Let's be fair to Joe. That particular paradox contains a semantic dirty trick. Okay, and I know it does, and I can understand him reacting negatively to it. The trick is, what you have is something in the sphere of human activity, and you're taking Aristotle's two-valued logic and applying it to it. You're making it this weird yes or no decision trying to answer this paradox. Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, the barber shaves every man who doesn't shave himself. Does he shave himself? And the answer is, because you could rephrase it, there is this small town in Spain with only one barber. The barber shaves every man who doesn't shave himself, with the exception of himself. Does the barber shave himself? And the answer is yes. So you've gotten around the problem that you have that creates the paradox. That's another reason why I like S.I. Hayakawa, because in Language and Thought and Action, he said that Aristotle's two-valued logic is only useful in mathematics. To take it and apply it to the sphere of human activity, like the Lester Holts and the Chuck Todds of the world do, that's folly. And now, Chapter 1, in the next video, I promise. Have a good one.